In this video tutorial we will be learning Python if else statement, Python while loop statement, Python for loop statement, and Python functions. Okay, these are the 4 statements, okay, we will cover in this video tutorial. So we'll learn, okay, step by step. Okay, we will start, okay, with Python if else statement, and we'll see all the programs, okay, of Python if else. That is over here. Yeah, now first we'll understand, okay, the Python if else statement. Python condition and if statement. Python supports the usual logic condition from mathematics. Now what are the logical condition of mathematics? That is equals a equal to b, that is equal a exclamatory mark not a is equal to b, that means a not equal to b. This exclamatory sign is nothing but not equal sign. Less than a less than b, a is less than or equal to b, a is greater than b, then a is greater than or equal to b. This condition can be used in several ways, most commonly used in if statement and loops. Now an if statement is written by using the if keyword. Now how it has been used we will see, okay, by taking into consideration that is if keyword. A is equal to 33, b is equal to 200, b is greater than a, print. Answer is yes. So what it will be printed, okay, b is greater than a, because here what happens, okay, your condition has become true. If the condition is true, the output will be printed, that is b is greater than a. Now in this example we use two variables a and b, which are used as part of the if statement to test whether b is greater than a. As a is 33 and b is 200, we know that 200 is greater than 33, and so we print to screen that b is greater than a. So in this way our output b is greater than a is generated. Now indentation part. Now Python relies on indentation, white space at the beginning of a line, to define the scope in the code. Other programming language often use curly brackets for this purpose. If statement without indentation will raise an error. I will compare you both the program, okay, that will raise an error and that program will not raise an error. Now if I write this program will raise an error because indentation is not there. The same program when I will run over here, now you can see the indentation over here is there. Now your print doesn't have the white space, there is indentation. Here you can see, okay, the white space is there. So it's same program, but this program is with indentation, but it will not throw an error. I'll just, okay, run this program. Here a is 33, b is 33, yeah, b is greater than a, the condition is satisfied, no, b is not greater than a. Else if print a and b are equal. So what will happen? A and b are equal, this will be printed over here. Here you can see the output a and b are equal. This is the elif program, okay, here it is there. Here it was the indentation program. Now the same program, if I give space in this program, I wanted to say here, so the output will be printed because the indentation I had given over here. Now this is the elif keyword is in Python is Python way of saying if the previous statements were not true, then try this condition. Now here the first condition is not true, b is greater than a, so elif is trying the another condition, but the second condition is same, okay, because a equal to b, so a and b are equal, the output a and b equal has been generated. Now I'll see the another program. Now in this example a is equal to b. Now so the first condition is not true, but the elif condition is true. We are talking about that 33 and 33 program, so we print to screen that a and b are equal. So here a and b are equal, the output has been generated. Now we'll see, okay, else. The else keyword catches anything which isn't caught by the preceding condition. Now a is 200, b is 33, b is greater than a, answer is wrong, it's false. Else if a equal to b, here also a and b are equal, this also condition is false. Now else a is greater than b, yeah, this condition is true. So what it will be printed? A is greater than b. So this will be output will be generated. Here we have to satisfy all the condition. Here the condition is false because b is not greater than a and b are not equal, here also is false, but this condition is true, so that's why a is greater than b, this output has been printed. Now in this example a is greater than b, so the first condition is not true. Also the elif condition is not true, So we go to the else condition and print to screen that A is greater than B. Now you can also have else without the elif. We'll see this program also over here. A is equal to 200, B is equal to 33, B is greater than A, condition is false, else B is not greater than A, condition is true. So this output will be printed over here, B is not greater than A. You can see the output over here. Now we have shorthand if. If you have only one statement to execute, you can put it on the same line as the if statement, one line statement. A is 200, B is 33. A is greater than B, answer is yes. So the output will be A is greater than B. So this is called as shorthand if statement. Here the output is there, A is greater than B. Now shorthand if else. If you have only one statement to execute, one for if and one for else, you can put it all on the same line. A is 2, B is 330. Print A. If A is greater than B, no, A is not greater than B, this condition is false. Else, print B. So else condition it is satisfying, so the output will be B. You can see over here. You can also have a multiple else statement on the same line. A is equal to 330, B is equal to 330. Print A. If A is greater than B, no, wrong. Else print equal to, yes, it's equal to, so equal to will be printed. So here the condition has become true, so it will not go and check other also. So here equal to will be printed over here. The AND keyword, AND, is a logical operator and is used to combine conditional statements. Test if A is greater than B and if C is greater than A. Okay, A is greater than B and C is greater than A. A is 200, B is 33 and C is 500. A is greater than B, answer is yes. And C is greater than A, answer is yes. Both conditions are true. So this output will be printed, both conditions are true. Now we'll see the other program. We had seen the AND, now we'll see the other keyword, that is OR. The OR keyword is a logical operator and is used to combine conditional statement. A is 200, B is 33 and C is 500. A is greater than B, true. Or A is less than C, false. So at least one condition is true over here. This will be printed. At least one of the condition is true. Now we will see, okay, that is nested if. You can have if statement inside if statement, that is called nested if statement. Now inside if statement there will be one more if statement. X is equal to 41. X is greater than 10. Print above 10. X is greater than 10. Yes, X is greater than 10. X is greater than 20. Yes, and also above 20. So both the conditions are getting satisfied. So I am not going on the else, because in if condition only my condition got satisfied. So above 10 and also above 20 will be printed over. So here is the output. Now we will see the pass statement. If statement cannot be empty, but if you for some reason have an if statement with no content, but in the pass statement to get an error, here the output will not be printed, but it will not throw you an error. In this I had printed, okay, but the output will not come. It will not show an error over here. Having an empty statement like this will raise an error without pass the statement. So I have used the pass statement, so it will not throw me an error. Now we'll start, okay, that is Python while loops. Now Python loops also in this topic, Python while loops and Python loops, and Python has two primitive loop commands, while loop and for loops. The while loop, with the while loop we can execute a set of statement as long as the condition is true. Print I as long as I is less than 6. I is less than 6, that you have to keep in mind. I is 1, I is less than 6, print I plus is equal to 1. So 1 will increment by 1 and it will run till 5, because I should be less than 6 and 5 is less than 6. So it has been printed from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, not 6, because it should be less than 6. Note, Remember to increment I or else the loop will continue forever. The while loop requires relevant variable to be ready. In this example, we need to define an indexing variable I which we set to 1. So from 1 it got printed. The break statement, with the break statement we can stop the loop if the while condition is true. Now I is equal to 1, I less than 6, print I equal to 1 and break. So what will happen over here? Yeah, it will break till 3 because we have stopped our program by putting a break statement, and when it will reach to 3 the program will stop. So this we can use through break statement. Here we can, wherever you want, we can stop our program by using a break. Now we'll see the other program, that is the continue statement. Now what will be the difference between break and continue? We can compare with this program. With the continue statement we cannot stop the current iteration and continue with the next. I is equal to 0, I less than 6, I plus is equal to 1, so it will start with 1 and it will go till 6. But what will happen over here? It will stop, it will not print 3 over here. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. So it will not take a break at 3, but it will ignore the 3 and continue after 3. So what will happen? Note that number 3 is missing in the output. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6 in the result. Now the else statement. With the else statement we can run a block of code once when the condition no longer is true. I is equal to 1 while I is less than 6. Print I plus is equal to 1, else print I is no longer less than 6. So what will happen? It will print from 1 to 5, and then because it will work in this condition, what had condition had given, so it will work while loop, it will work from 1 to 5, and then finally it will be printed I is no longer less than 6. So here is the output from 1 to 5 and I is no longer less than 6. Now we will start for loops over here. Python for loops. A loop is used for iterating over a sequence that is either a list, a tuple, a dictionary, a set or a string. This is less like the for keyword in other programming language and works more like an iterator method as found in other object oriented programming language. With the for loops we can execute a set of statements once for each item in a list, tuple, set, etc. Now here fruits are there, apple, banana and cherry. For x in fruits, so all the fruits are stored in the variable x, and finally what I am printing, that is x. So all the fruits will be printed over here, apple, banana and cherry, because we had stored all the fruits in the variable x. Now printing loop through a string. Even strings are iterable objects. They contain a sequence of character. Loop through the letters in the word banana. For x in banana, print x. So what is there in x? Banana is stored in x, so banana will be printed over here. You can see banana has been printed. Now the break statement. With the break statement we can stop the loop before it has looped through all the items fruits, apple, banana and cherry. For x in fruits, so what is stored in the fruits, like all the fruits has been stored in the variable x, so print x. So x equal to banana. So what will happen? It will break, it will stop till banana. So apple and banana will be printed, and from there it will stop it because by using the break statement. So for after break it will not run. Now exit the loop when x is banana, but this time the break comes before the print. Fruit is equal to apple, banana and cherry. For x in fruits, so fruits is stored in the variable x, x equal to banana. Break, print x. So what will happen? It will run only till apple. It will not run, it will not print even banana also over here, because here we are giving print x. So what is stored? Fruits is stored in the x over here. So this is the break statement. With the break statement we can stop the loop before it has been looped through all the items. Now here exit the loop from x is banana. Now here in this program, this two is the different. Exit the loop when x is banana, but this time the break statement comes before the print. Now here you can see the break statement, okay, is coming before the print over here in this program also, and it is coming here. Now the continue statement. With the continue statement, we can stop the current iteration of the loop and continue with the next. Do not print banana. So what will happen over here in the continue statement, when I print over here, so it will print everything except banana. Apple and cherry will be printed because here banana has been given in the break continue statement. So what will happen, it will continue the complete program except banana will not print over here. Through this we can use in the continue statement. Now the range function. To loop through a set of code a specific number of items, we can use the range function. The range function returns a sequence of numbers starting from 0 by default and increment by 1 by default and ends at a specific number using the range function. For x in range 6, print x. Note that range 6 is not the value 0 to 6 but the value 0 to 5. If I write the range, okay, it will start from not 1 to 6, it will start from 0 to 5. Now the range function defaults to 0 as a starting value. However, it is possible to specify the starting value by adding a parameter range 2, 6, which means the value from 2 to 6 but not including the 6. For x 2, 6, so it will start from 2 and end it will 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. Print x. So in this way it will be printed, okay, it will be starting from 2 and ending will at 5. Now the range function defaults to increment the sequence by 1. However, it is possible to specify the increment value by adding a third parameter range 2, 30, 3. So what it will happen, okay, it will take, okay, multiple of 3, 2 plus 3 5, 5 plus 3 8, 8 plus 3 11, and it will end at 30 or before 30. So it has end, okay, till 29. So in this way, by the multiples of 3, it will take a range. Now else in for loop. The else keyword is for a loop specifies a block of code to be executed. When the loop is finished, print all numbers 0 to 5 and print a message when the loop has ended. For x in range 6, print x else finally finish. So it will print, okay, from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and finally it will print, okay, finally finish, because it will start from 0 and end at 5 and it will print a message that is finally finished. Now nested loops. A nested loop is a loop inside a loop. So loop inside a loop, the inner loop will be executed one time for each iteration of the outer loop. Okay, so this is the inner loop and this is the outer loop. Print each objective for every fruit. So first it will start, okay, with inner loop and then it will check complete outer loop and then again it will go to inner loop. Now from red it will start, then it will check apple, banana and cherry, then again it will come at big and then it will check apple, banana and cherry, then again it will go to tasty and it will check apple, banana and cherry. So this way it will work for x and objective for y in fruits, print x and y. So red will check, okay, apple, banana and cherry, then big will go in the outer loop, it will check again apple, banana and cherry, again tasty will go from inner to outer loop and it will check complete outer loop, that is apple, banana and cherry. So in this way the output has been printed over here. Now here the pass statement. For loops cannot be empty, but if you see for some reason have for loop with no content, but in the pass statement to avoid getting an error, if I use a pass statement, okay, here the output will not be printed but it will not give me an error. Having an empty for loop like this will raise an error without the pass statement. Python functions. Now we are starting, okay, with function over here. A function is a block of code which only runs when it is called. You can pass data from known as parameters into a function. A function can return data as a result. Creating a function in Python, a function is defined use the def keyword. Now what is the speciality of function? You don't have to create a program again and again. You have to just define a function where you need to create program one time, and whenever you require you need to call a function. Please note, okay, a function will run only when you will call a function. Here's the keyword for the like function, defining a function. Okay, in Python a function is defined using a def. So def, okay, my underscore function. So I'm defining the function by the name my underscore function. Hello, print hello from a function. Now print hello from a function will not print unless or until I will call a function. Now calling a function. To call a function, use the function name followed by the parenthesis. Now how to call the function? Now first I have to copy and paste this program as it is. Define function, that is def underscore my function, print hello from a function. Now I have to call over a function. Now my underscore function, after calling a function, here the output will be printed over here, hello from a function. Now here also we have arguments. Information can be passed into function as arguments. Arguments are specified after the function name inside the parenthesis. You can add as many arguments as you want. Just separate them with a comma. So I can put multiple arguments also. The following example has a function with one argument first name. We have here one argument as a first name. When the function is called, we pass along a first name, which is used inside the function to print the first name. Now here already last name has been printed over here. Now first name is there. So I am calling my first name, so automatically last name will be attached. Now here I am calling the first name is Abbas, so attach already Lalani will be adding. Here I am calling Zara and Hassan, so Lalani will be added along with the function what I have defined over here, first name, that is Abbas, Zara and Hassan. Now parameters or argument. The term parameter and argument can be used for the same thing, information that are passed into a function. From a function's perspective, a parameter is the variable listed inside the parenthesis in the function definition. An argument is the value that is sent to the function when it is called. Number of arguments. By default, a function must be called with the correct numbers of argument, meaning that if your function expects 2 arguments, you have to call the function with 2 arguments, not more, not less than. This function expects 2 arguments and gets 2 arguments. Now we'll see, okay, 2 arguments. First f name, first name and last name. Now here I am printing over here my first name Abbas and last name Lalani. So the output will be what? In my function will be Abbas Lalani. Here Abbas Lalani is my first name function and last name is here. I had here put Lalani, so here the output Abbas Lalani will be printed. Now print here arbitrary arguments, that is args, the short form of argument with one asterisk mark. If you do not know how many arguments that will be passed into a function, add a asterisk mark before the parameters name in the function definition. This way the function will receive a tuple of argument and can access the items accordingly. Define my underscore function by the name kid. I have put asterisk before the name of the function. The youngest child is plus kid 2. Now 0 is Abbas, 1 is Zara and Hassan is 2. So what it will call over here? The youngest child is Hassan, because 0 is my Abbas, 1 is Zara and Hassan is 2. So here the youngest child is kid 2 is my like Hassan. So Hassan will be printed. Now my function arbitrary arguments are often shortened to star args in Python documentation. Now keyword arguments. You can also send arguments with the key is equal to value syntax. This way the order of argument does not matter. Now define my underscore function child 3 2 1. The youngest child is dash child 3. So what is stored in my child 3? That is Hassan. So it will be printed over here. The youngest child is in child 3. What is stored? Hassan is stored. So the output will be the youngest child is Hassan. So whatever is stored okay in the variable, that will be printed over here. So in child tree Hassan was stored, so Hassan will be printed along with the string the youngest child is. Now arbitrary keyword arguments by using two asterisk keywords. If you do not know how many keyword arguments that will be passed into your function, add two asterisk mark before the parameter name in the function definition. This way the function will receive a dictionary of arguments and can access the items accordingly. If the number of keyword arguments is known, and a double star asterisk mark before the parameter name. Now define my underscore function to asterisk mark kid. His last name is kid dash last name. So what I have stored over here in the last name, that is Lalani. Okay, and what I stored okay, that will be printed over here. So only I am printing over here what his last name is, what, that is Lalani. So only this will be printed over here, his last name is Lalani. Rest everything will not be printed because I am printing over here his last name, then the last name is, that is Lalani. That's it. Now I'll see okay the other program, default parameter value. The following example shows how to use a default parameter value. If we call the function without argument, it uses the default value. How it uses the default value, I'll show you. Define my underscore function, country is equal to Norway. So in my function, which country is stored? Norway is stored. Print I am from the country name. So it will print okay, I am from Sweden, I am from India. My underscore function, what is stored in my underscore function? That is Norway. So after India it will print I am from Norway, and finally it will print I am from Brazil. So here's the output, I am from Sweden, I am from India, and here my function what it is stored, that is Norway. So I am from Norway and I am from Brazil. So it was simple program over here. Passing a list as an argument. You can send any data type of argument to a function, string, number, list, dictionary, etc. You can, and it will be treated as the same data type inside the function. Example, if you send a list as an argument, it will still be a list when it reaches the function. Now define function food. For x in food, print x. Okay, so what is stored okay in the food, that will be printed over here. Now it is stored okay, that is apple, banana and cherry is been stored. So apple, banana and cherry will be printed over here. So my underscore function fruits, so fruits will be printed over here. So in fruits okay, now here you can see we had created a function by the name food. For x in food, print x. Now we have defined okay fruits. Now in fruits we had like apple, banana and cherry is been stored in fruits. Now here we are calling okay fruits over here function. So here fruits will be printed over here because in fruits apple, banana and cherry is there. Now return value. To let a function to return a value, use the return statement. Now my function is defined my underscore function x. Okay, so return 5 into x. So print my function. So 3 into x will be 15, 5 into x will be 25, and 9 into 5 will be 45. So here we can return through a value also. So here you can see the output, that is 15, 25 and 45. So the pass statement, here the output will be printed. Now in this also we will give a pass statement over here. In pass statement what it will happen, we can use a pass statement that will not throw an error. Function definition cannot be empty, but if you for some reason have a function definition with no content, but in the pass statement to avoid getting an error, now in pass statement what it will happen, you can write the program but the output will not be printed, but however it will be an empty function definition like this, but will raise an error without pass the statement. If you don't pass the statement, it will raise an error. So we had finished I think all the programs. So in this tutorial we have covered Python if, else, Python while loops, Python for loops and Python function. If you have any query you can always ask me, and hope you have understood all the functions over here. Mostly we have tried to cover Python if else, Python while loops, Python for loops, Python function. Thank you very much.